Hello, hello, hello. In Toes Down Conversation with myself and Dr. Lanier. Let me get him on the hotline. What's up? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. And it's Women's Month. Yes. Shout out to all the ladies. Let me get him on the line so we could get started with another interesting conversation. Shout out to everybody that's been telling me they have been getting some points. They've been getting some good information from these lives. So I'm glad that these live chats have been helpful and useful for you all. Let me find him again. What's up?
What's up?
Cool. Good. Good. We got you on the line. What's going on? You having a good day?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Busy as always, but yes.
Yes. So we will get right into it. I like a nice shirt. See, you got the collar
Oh,
popping. Got your popping your collar
didn't even have
today.
time to change from work.
Ah, it's cool. You look good, Dr.
Yep.
Lanier. What's up? We are back with another 10 Toes conversation. I'm your favorite pedicurist, Sheena. And of course, we have our favorite podiatrist, Dr. Lanier. And I looked at the calendar and we are 10 days away from
Oh
spring.
man.
So today's conversation, we're going to center it around warmer weather, the type of shoes we should be thinking about wearing during the spring and summertime, as well as, the activities that's happening, concerts, festivals. We'll be standing and some points and good points that we could be sharing with our audience, as well as myself, because I love to be outside. I'm in the streets when it's time, when the weather is getting warmer and everything. So I am excited for this conversation. Dr. Lanier, you got your summer body ready?
I'm trying to get there. So it's been warming up. I've been trying to get outside, walking more. I walk on. Trying to walk. Between 3 and 5 miles every day. So.
Oh wow, good for you.
I just got my. You know what I just got? I just got a weighted vest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because I've been walking around my neighborhood and I see people with these vests. I'm like, what they want? Like they just carrying their phones or look like they better go to war or something like that.
Yeah.
They're wearing the weighted vests, to help with their workout, help with their cardio, help with their core. And so I got one. I've been wearing it for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. It actually does help. I mean, it makes you work harder for sure. Even my Apple Watch was like, "Yo, your heart rate's higher. What's going on?" And so,
okay. So are you able? Is it just like a one weight, or are you able to adjust the weights, add the weights?
that's a good question. So when I was looking up stuff on Amazon, there are a lot. Of course, there are a lot of different vests to choose from. And so I just got a 25-pound one, and I can adjust it. So if I want another weight, I had to get another vest. But they do have plenty of them that you can actually add the weights to. The one I got, it just had such good reviews, and people were saying it was comfortable, and it didn't weigh you down too much, and it was kind of ergodynamically made. And I love it. It definitely, you can definitely tell that you're wearing something versus not, and I think it gives you a better workout. So you might as well wear something while you're just walking. So yeah, I like.
Yes, absolutely. Do you believe in I always call them the Missy Elliott trash bags, but the sweat bags.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about burning calories and making your body work more. So yeah, anything that makes your body work, makes you sweat, is going to be better. So yeah, do it.
Absolutely. Good. Well, good for you bringing sexy
I'm
back.
trying to do something. You got to do it when this weather come back. Right. You're gonna be wanting to like put less clothes on. You can't hide behind the sweatshirts and the coat much longer.
And the hoodies.
Yep.
But the children these days will wear a hoodie 24/7 all year long.
And then the thing about it, so like if I wore a hoodie when it's like 80 degrees, I'd be sweating like crazy. These hoodies, they don't even be sweating. They don't even act like they hot.
Not at all. It
Man,
don't even
yeah, I'm like,
phase
I wish
them.
I had y'all. I don't know what y'all got, y'all metabolism or what's going on, but now don't even be
Right.
it,
Not
yeah,
at all. It's these kids
all right.
today.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out there, like we were saying all this, we got the festivals going on. We got like Charlotte Shout about to go down, or it might have already passed. I'm not sure. Then we got like the Love and Life Music Festival. Folks gonna be out in Uptown and all around. So I was like, man, why don't we talk about what you should be doing when you're out outside festivals, walking around. Everybody's gonna be trying to get out, so we got to make sure folks are right, make sure their feet are right, and be healthy while they're doing it.
Absolutely. Well, let's just get right into it. What kind of shoes should people be wearing now that the weather is starting to get a little warmer?
Yeah. So, first question people always ask me, especially living in the South, it gets hot down here, and I'm always preaching to people support, stability when we talk about shoes, and so I'm still gonna say that when it's hot outside.
Okay.
You wear some tennis shoes, and I know it's tough. I know when the weather gets 70, 80, 85 degrees, some people don't want their feet covered up by shoes, but still that's going to be the safest.
Okay.
Now, the caveat, I'm gonna say, if it's really hot and you like Dr. Lanier, now come on, I can't wear these hot
Yeah,
tennis shoes
I need these
when it's
toes
90
out.
degrees. You just went to Alpha Male, you may got your feet done, me. You say, hey, I want to show me these dogs off. I just got them done, so I get it. But at
Right.
some point, you're gonna want to have your toes out. You're gonna wear sandals. So what I usually tell people, one, they do make really good sandals with arch supports, and
Okay.
they're not still as good as wearing a pair of tennis shoes, because when you have to tie a shoe on, it secures your foot in the shoe, and it allows the smaller muscles in your feet not to work as hard. So when you're wearing a flip flop, you don't even notice it, but your muscles are contracting more, your toes are flexing more to help keep your foot in that sandal. And so that induces fatigue, and that makes your muscles work a lot harder, and that's when you start to get injuries when you're just even doing just normal walking. But again, I know people, they want to get in there.
We ain't even trying to
I know
hear you right now,
you like
Dr. Lanier.
so if you're gonna wear a flip flop, just make sure you don't wear a real flat one. So I'm talking about these thin ones. Sometimes you go to certain stores, like maybe an Old Navy.
Old
That's what I
Navy.
tell it. The Old Navy flip flops. You don't want to spend 2, 3, 4 hours. So if you're planning on going to, they got a country music festival down at Bank of America, or you going to the Love and Life Festival, don't go in a pair of really flat flip flops. Your feet are going to be killing you the next day. So one of my favorite brands, and I know everybody knows what a Birkenstock is. So
The Jesus
there you go.
sandals.
So I like Birkenstocks. Now a lot of people are like, well, they're not fashionable still. I really don't want to wear a Birkenstock, but Birkenstock got some good some
Cute.
good sandals.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I always tell people, if you're gonna wear a sandal, get a Birkenstock. That's going to be a good pair. They usually come with a little bit of a insert kind of built in to
Yeah.
the sandal, and it's going to help support you. Another one, a really good brand that I really like is Vionic. So Vionic, Vionic. They make actually sandals and regular shoes, and
Okay.
they almost have almost like an orthotic, like an insert also built into the shoe. And this is going to be a really good shoe that you can wear as well if you're going to be out taking the kids to the park, taking the kids to the zoo, or something like that when it gets warmer. Those are generally the two types of shoes I'm going to recommend, or sandals. I generally recommend against like thong,
Okay.
that goes between the toes. A lot of times that can be irritating. And I've seen people who are wearing those type of flip flops, and especially my people with neuropathy who can't feel as well, they'll wear those all day, and they end up getting like a little sore in between their big toe and their second toe. And by the time they notice it again, maybe it's gotten infected or something like that. Or there's just a blister there, and then it starts to hurt. And so you want to make sure that, you're not getting injured, with wearing these type of thong type flip flops as well.
Yes, and speaking of that, would that affect like athlete's foot? Because usually I see it between the
Mm-hmm.
toes. So putting a sandal, or like you say, the thong sandal, I'm sure that would irritate athlete's foot or even cause it.
Exactly. So, maybe you have a little bit of athlete's foot and it's not really that bad, but something
Mm-hmm.
like that and it rubs the skin raw, and it's
Yeah.
the portal of entry for the bad germs to get in there. Then you get infected, and then your feet are itching. Then you got to come see me. So I can
Yeah.
prescribe a antifungal for you. But yeah, you want to make sure you're trying to stay away from those.
Okay. And even to support what you were saying, it was saying I'm a chat GPT girl. It said that the of our feet, we have approximately 250,000 sweat
Mhm.
glands. And that's like produce like a half a pint of sweat daily. So I always think of the Chinese rice cart, and half of that is the amount of sweat that we produce
Yeah.
every day. So that was astonishing. And going back to what you were saying about flat flip flops, increase stress on your arch by up to 30%. So one question that I had with that is, does having a lot of straps, will that help give you some more support, or you're saying flat flip flops in general should be like left
Yeah,
alone?
they should be left alone, and they should only be used, sparingly. So even if you have a lot of straps, that still doesn't really help support your arch. And so, and I always try to make sure my patients know too that I'm not saying never wear this stuff. If it's the summertime, you got to go to Walgreens real quick. You're only going to be on your feet for 10, 15, 20 minutes at the most. Yeah, go ahead and put your flip-flops on, because, I mean, really, who's going to tie like your shoes, and you're only going to be on your feet for a little bit. So, like with everything, you got to do it sparingly. And you just don't want to be in these things like all day, all the time. If you know you're going to take your kids to the zoo, yeah, you need to wear some regular athletic shoes, even though it's hot out there. They make breathable athletic shoes as well. So just make sure you're wearing, shoes that are lighter, that are breathable, that's going to allow your feet, not to hold all that moisture in. So just like you're saying, if you're someone who already maybe has a little bit of sweaty feet, you want to make sure that you're wearing, again, moisture wicking socks and light shoes, and even light color shoes, because we all know that light colors reflect light, right? So we don't want to always maybe be wearing black shoes or darker brown shoes. Wear something that's bright, and that's going to help keep your feet cooler as well.
Good. So I had a client and his hands and feet are sweaty. Is that genetics? Is that diet? Like, where does that sweaty feet
It
come
can be a little
from?
bit of both. And so some people just
Okay.
naturally have a condition called hyperhidrosis.
Okay.
Hyper meaning a lot, hydro meaning water.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just kind of
Mm-hmm.
naturally, sweat a lot. And a lot of times it'll be, on the palms of the hands or the soles of the feet. There's certain things that can certainly do for this. They do make, antiperspirants, just like almost like a deodorant.
For your shoes
Yep, for your
or
for
your
your feet.
feet?
Yep.
Hmm.
So you can actually have those things prescribed for you if you're having a lot of problems with hyperhidrosis. If it's really bad, even sometimes some doctors will recommend doing like Botox injections for sweaty feet. And so, how that works. So Botox basically paralyzes like the nerves, right? So that's why they work in the face. You inject, the face and the wrinkles, it paralyzes those nerves that go, to those muscles, so it relaxes them. And so that's why the wrinkles go away, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
for the nerves that innervate the sweat glands, you paralyze them, the sweat glands don't produce as much. And then, you end up with not sweating as much. So, little known fact, you can use Botox for wrinkles. Sweat. You heard that on
Wow.
10
See,
toes
we
down,
were.
folks. You heard it on 10 toes down.
Absolutely. I didn't know that. That's interesting, but you never know. Wow. So, speaking of standing for long periods of time, attending concerts and festivals, what is the best way to keep our feet in good shape for those long days, long walks, and standing? One of the stats that was saying, like, on average, concert goers will stand for, hold on, that was a good what are we where yes, on average Festival goers will walk 5 to 10 miles per day and stand over 5 hours, which can cause swelling and foot pain due to reduced circulation. So how should we help you, like you say, be comfortable when we're standing for long periods of time?
So I think first of all, knowing the type of venue that you're going to be in and being cognizant of that.
Yeah.
And so let's say you're in Charlotte and you're going to, PNC, and you're going to be like in the lawn standing.
Yes.
So, that's a little bit different. So you definitely want to make sure you have a shoe with good grip, a shoe that has, a thick midsole that's going to support you a lot. Versus if you're going to be kind of in the covered area and you're going to have a seat and you're going to be able to sit down a lot better, then maybe think about having that lighter shoe or even a more comfortable sandal, because you're going to have breaks. You're going to be able to sit down a lot more. The second thing is kind of knowing kind of how your body is. Some people just naturally well, and if you're standing up a long time, some people will just know, man. My feet are going to swell, my ankles are going to swell. I'm going to end up getting cankles. And if you know that, you may want to then think about even investing in compression stockings or socks. And so now a lot of times it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the men out there, because they're like, man, I don't want to wear no compression stockings, compression socks, anything like that. But it is going to be a little bit tougher in the summer. I get it. You wear these compression and, it's a lot, it grabs your legs and it's hotter in the summer. But, sometimes that's what you got to do. If you're somebody that swells a lot, wear maybe a light pants, because maybe the concert's at night. You can wear a little bit of a light pant, have the compression socks underneath your pants, because it's going to look a little funny if you're wearing shorts with a compression sock, I ain't going to lie.
You gonna look like Pops or Mr. Brown.
This dude right here. So I know you want to have a little style too. So wear like a little light pants, then the compression stockings, and then you'll be stylish, and you'll have you won't be swelling so much. So you just gotta be smart, and I think you gotta plan for stuff.
Yeah. And so one thing that stood out that I wanted to get your explanation on, it was saying that your feet swell because you are dehydrated.
Yeah. So when your body kind of loses water, then that causes the salt to kind of seep out into the tissues, and that draws more water to the tissues and keeps them out of the blood vessels. And so we see that as swelling, or the medical terminology, edema to the area.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of sounds counterintuitive that if you don't have enough water, then you wouldn't swell, but it actually draws the fluid out of your blood vessels into the tissues.
Wow. When's the last concert you went to, Dr.
Oh man, come on now. I'll be doing it. So last concert was actually was Usher the last concert I went to? Might have been Usher, I think.
Okay, that's pretty recent.
Yeah. And I kind of feel, I think I went to something else after that though. I think it was like an old school concert I went to.
Okay.
But definitely Usher was that was it. That was really good. I actually went down in Atlanta because I figured, I was like, because I was going to go when he came here, but I'm like, Atlanta, he's from there. He got to bring somebody, with him. It was a great concert. So yeah, I love going to concerts. One of my favorite things to do.
Yes, likewise. So I love how Charlotte is starting to get a little buzz as far as like people are starting to visit our city, because we used to have to go to Greensboro or we used to have to go to Atlanta. So now Charlotte is starting to pick up its festivals and its events, and so it's a lot of things that's happening in Charlotte. So I'm grateful to be in this city that's very multicultural, and you can get, like you say, country music one day, R&B, hip hop, rap. So definitely. So that's all the questions that I have. I like to keep it short and sweet. Thank you for helping us stay fresh, but also want to let the guys know, like they say, summer bodies happen in the winter. summer feet happen in the winter too. So do not wait until it's time to go on vacation or it's time to get those fresh sneakers and that summer comes and you wait till then to get pedicures. Get them now because they definitely are important. I don't think, I mean, all year long, but I do know that people value getting manicures and pedicures, more so pedicures, when it is warmer weather.
That's right. You said it. You said it right. You really need to take care of your feet all year round. So you can't just wait till you want to show them. You know, you got to take care of them, not showing them as well. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Indeed. So, any last points that you want to share with
Yep.
us?
Like we were saying, you got to be prepared for the event that you're going to be participating in or going to. So just plan, you know, preparation, know if you're going to be standing a lot, know what shoes you're going to be wearing. You know, we do it all the time, right? You know, we remember when we used to have that first day of school and we laid
Yep.
our,
Get that
our,
outfit right.
our outfit. We had them fresh crease in the jeans. You got to do the same thing with your shoes and everything. You got to lay them out. You got to know what you're going to be wearing, not only for fashion, but also for comfort as well. We want you to.
Indeed. Well, that is another 10 Toes Down conversation with myself and Dr. Lanier. Oh, and I want to let you all know that we will be doing a pop-up at a sneaker con later this month. The date is March 23rd at Sneaker Exit. It'll be here in the city of Charlotte. So we will have a table or booth. You can come out and meet and greet with us and show us your sneakers, but also, of course, we'll be bringing that level of education, which I think is completely, it's one of the best places to go talk about foot health is at a sneaker con. So I hope you all can join us there at the end of the month. But as we get closer to the date, I'll make sure that I share that more information. But there you have it, another 10 Toes Down conversation with myself and Dr. Lanier. Thank you so much.
You guys. See you guys later.